Bears with shields are like Legionnaires, but they can actually deal damage. So what are these things, what do these bad boys do? They have really good health, average physical attack, they have below average accuracy, for sure. Right now this bear has, he's on precise all-rounder and he still has quite bad accuracy. Their evasion is low, their crit is low, their guard rate is high because they are shield boys. So if you slap a shield on them, they can actually passively block. And of course, as with all tanks, their initiative is low. Magic defense is also very low. And physical defense, not as high as you'd think. To be honest, 19 physical defense, level 25 on all-rounder. Feel like they should have a little bit more defense, but I guess the way of the hammer does not require such methods. All right. So this thing is a lot of things. Axe, Great Shield, Infantry, Armor, Bestial. High HP, grows stronger in nighttime battles. Low accuracy, high physical defense. Ineffective versus anti-armor and magic. So like with most tanks, especially Legionnaire, magic kills you and warriors kill you easily. Both of those two things will demolish this class. 50 mobility, type infantry, 6 stamina. Can break gates and barricades more easily. So unlike things like Legionnaire and Fighter, which reduce incoming range assist effects, the damage, this just allows you to actually push through gates and barricades. Now, if you make this thing your party leader, you're going to be going very slow. So that is a downside. However, you do have increased mobility at night, and all stats increase at night. From what people were saying in the comments and from what I've observed, what I have observed is the stat increase seems largely negligible, like something small, like 10% increase. It's hidden too. As far as I can tell, it doesn't like visually show at night what the stats increase to, but I did notice I did slightly more damage, and apparently someone else observed like slightly higher initiative. Maybe just like by a few points. So like 10 to 20% stat increase, nothing too crazy. But beyond that, let's go over the abilities. So unlike Legionnaire, who has a lot of active skills that increase tanking, this class is kind of like if you mixed Legionnaire and Warrior. Now it can't kill other guards. It does have unguardable attacks, but actually all of its attacks are unguardable. It doesn't have armor punishing though. So like Warrior, it has unguardable hammer attacks or axe attacks, and like Legionnaire, it has tanking. Now it does not have cover built into its kit. So let's go over its skills. All right, so Bear Crush, 100 potency, 100 hit rates, attack a single enemy, unguardable, inflict stun. This isn't bad as an attack. Now you do have really low initiative, so either you slow the enemies down and speed this up, or do some combination of initiative debuff plus initiative buff on the Werebear so that it can actually get its stun off. Now if you tank the enemies, of course you can just go last and then smack them and be slow. The stun that's unguardable is fine, like it's decent. And then you get round swing, 25 potency, 3 hit count, so it hits 3 times. Hit rate, 75%, unguardable. Attack a row of enemies. Damage increases the more HP the user has. So this can actually hit really hard, especially if you fix the hit rates with True Strike. So if you throw like a sniper lens or an amber sniper lens on the bear and then do this attack, it can actually deal pretty substantial damage. So it can do 75 potency times 3, and the real issue is just fixing the hit rate so you can get pretty good damage outputs on this tank. All right, and then of course there's Earthshaker, which is just straight up 75 potency. It hits once though, 100% hit rates. Trait ranged, which means that it can hit anything, but because it attacks all enemies, they just had to throw range in there. It's also unguardable, and it's ground-based. Ground-based means that flying units are unaffected. Attack all enemies, damage increases the less HP the user has. So it's kind of like the opposite of a round swing. So round swing you want to use when you're healthy. Earthshaker you want to use when you are missing health. And the damage increases up to 150 physical potency, which isn't bad. 2 active points for 150 physical potency board nuke if you're at lower HP is decent, especially on a tank. So it can actually get hit, which is what tanks do, or block for your allies, and then use this afterwards to deal big damage to all the things on the ground. So it has some decent offensive options. Heavy Guard activates before being hit by a physical attack, block an enemy attack with a Heavy Guard. Heavy Guard is 75% damage reduction. Now, some things can hit through it, like warrior abilities, and other things like magic can kind of hit through it. So you have to be mindful of that. But this is decent. Nocturnal Rest activates after attacking. Recover 30% HP. Recovers double HP at night. So this is nice for like spot healing. Now, if you're running a tank, you probably want to heal her anyways, but this is nice if you need it, just so that you can heal a little bit more. And then, of course, we have Life Blow. Activates at the start of battle. Attack a single enemy. At the end of battle. Deals damage equal to 80% of the user's HP, and it cannot crit, and it's unguardable with 100% hit rate. Now, 100 hit rate does not mean it's guaranteed to hit. It factors in enemy evasion. So these things are not as accurate as it seems. Like most things are. Like if you see hit 100, it's not like Fire Emblem. It still has to calculate it versus, it's like your initial hit. But 80% of users' HP as damage is fine. At the end of battle effects, I don't think are very good unless they like heal you or something, because your squad really should be killing, even in true Xenoiran. So having a bear do a blow is fine, but you really want to be doing something else. You should not be relying on end of battle triggers for killing. Most teams do not need it to kill, so it's something that's nice to have, but you should really be doing other things with your end of battle triggers. Alright. Activates before an ally is attacked. I'm sorry, this is from an equip skill, but this is an example of a thing you can do. You can get a cover skill and grant medium guard, cover with medium guard, grant that ally max initiative. So this is a way to like pull utility out of the bear. All right, Bear Crush, knockback and immobilize enemy units within range. Ineffective versus garrisoned and flying enemies. Duration 10 seconds. So this is just like utility. It doesn't really do damage or break like barricades like the warrior attack does. So it's kind of like somewhere in between warrior and tanking valor skills. So immobilizing something for 10 seconds is decent, but there's definitely better things. So it's okay, it's serviceable. All right, and then for like a build, I think there's a few ways you can build these. You can go for some kind of cover build. So there is a heavy shield that allows you to cover another ally for 1 passive point. In this case, I'm going for hastened cover. Also, I get initiative +5 on this shield. This thing, I believe, is from the owl quests, like the owl mausoleums, where you go to the mausoleums and then fight a thing and then get this shield. But this gives an ally max initiative, so if the bear covers the ally, like if someone else is attacked, the bear covers them and then gives up to 2 allies max initiative, accelerating them to go first. Now this team is just a team of furries. I do not recommend making this team. This is just for the purposes of covering these things. But on an actual team comp, this could be a decent opener, so that if anything's faster than you, this might be better in PvP though. Like in PvE, you can really get broken teams that always active for the enemies like 90% of the time, but this is not bad. Then of course you can always go for a round swing and just kind of be at full health, and that's like the goal. And then the other accessory slot is optional, maybe a ruby pendant so you can do round swing twice, and then the king's axe is just for stats. It gives you everything. It gives you a little bit of initiative, gives you some block rates, gives you a little bit of crits, some health, some damage, and everything. It also improves magical defense, which this class seriously lacks. Other axes that are good, other weapons that are good. You can use the heavy smash axe, attack a row of enemies, inflict stun, has 100 potency at base. Now you do lose initiative by running this, but if you're on this class anyways, you need to initiative fix, or you're assuming you're going last. Like it's a slow class, so losing initiative on a class that already goes last barely matters. You do get more HP. You could forge this for more damage, so that's 25 physical attack. And this is a decent attack that acts as crowd control while also being on a tank. We have other things. Now, things like this are interesting. They need hit fixed, powerful impact, 200 potency, attack a single enemy. This could be useful for like last hitting something, but you would obviously need some kind of sniper lens. Execution, I don't know that this is like the best thing. Attack a single enemy, inflict passive seal, death blow at 25 or less. This is okay. 75 hit, kind of questionable. Crush is decent. It's basically the same thing you already have though, so it doesn't matter. Icy Crush, This is decent too. 100 potency versus frozen. If you have a bunch of freezing units, you're going last in this class. So you could get a 200 potency attack against single target, which could be valuable for killing something. Provoking slash, attack an enemy, forces it to focus on the user. This is decent for tanking. Then we have Icy Blow, which just freezes. Icy Crush just does more damage off of freeze. You always have basic things. Accuracy plus 20 on Golden Ram Axe. This can help you for your board attack and your row attack. Phantom Attack, I do not recommend doing magical attacks in this class. Its magic stat is terrible. And the rest are just basic axes. But I would say the main axes you really focus on are like this. The Sacral Axe, Affliction Immunity, heal 20% using active skills. King's Axe, this is decent, it gives you guard rate and initiative. And then of course the Heavy Smash Axe gives you health, which helps with tanking. And then of course you get a row stun, which is very useful. Now obviously units like Berengaria just outshine things like this. So unfortunately, the way this game is balanced, there's just like better versions of things. Now this is like most strategy games, or at least most games with a lot of things, so it's like almost inevitable that something's gonna be better than something else. But things like this, let's put these guys in there. These things basically do everything this can do, but better statistically in every way. And they also have built-in row stun for 1 AP. With Death Spin. I think he has it. Yeah, he also has Death Spin. And they have higher accuracy. So unfortunately, I just don't think it's the best class, but if you really like bears with shields, because bears are awesome, and I actually wholeheartedly believe bears are cool, because they're huge and actually very dangerous in real life, you can just run it anyways for fun, because you could easily beat the game with it, and it's a fun thing to run. It's a bear with a shield. Alright, you're not here to be optimal with this class. Alright, that's it for this one. Definitely like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. We also have channel membership, and I live stream, and of course the channel membership gets you those sweet emotes. And we have 16 right now, which is actually kind of crazy. But yeah, I'll see you next one. Peace!